Hi friends, welcome to part 2 of my journal setup for Overflowing from Bythewell4God. In my last video, I set up the cover using an altered Reader's Digest condensed book, and today I just want to put the signatures in. I'm just going to do this in a really kind of simple way. I'm going to use the twine binding. Let me show you what that is. This is an old one that I have done where you wrap around the spine, and then your signatures that you have can just slide in and out. And so in the past when I've done this, I've done like one kind of signature for each day, but I'm going to do this just a little bit differently this time, where I'm actually going to just make about 5 signatures that have about 3 pieces of paper in them each, and then and work my way through it that way. So I have pulled out a few different kinds of paper that I want to use. The first thing I'm going to use are some this is old scrapbook paper. It's just craft paper, and so it's a good kind of weight to it, so I don't feel like it'll stand up to my book really well. And then I have some of the pattern paper from Bythewell4God. These are the ones that I'll be able to turn and fold, and I won't, it won't mess with the pattern. So I pulled some of those. I also have, this is just some like mixed media, like in a cream kind of color. This was in an old journaling thing that I got, years, it's just been in my stash forever. I'm just trying to use up some of my things. And then I also have this craft paper that has like a dot grid on it. This is actually some Archer and Olive paper from one of their notepads that you can get. And so this is a good weight too. So I'm going to use that, and you can see I'm just going to fold those. So the first thing that I want to do is deal with this 12 by 12 paper. So the size of my finished journal is about 7.5 by 5. And so I want to cut these just a little bit smaller so that there's some margin in there. But these are going to be kind of the outer part of each of my signatures, just to kind of protect the smaller pages kind of on the inside, but everything is going to be movable. You can pull anything out or whatever. And then I just wanted to kind of use up some of this scrapbook paper that has just been in my stash for forever. So I'm going to start with just one of these really quick, and I'm going to cut this to basically 7 by 10. So it'll be 7 inches tall and then 10 inches wide, so that when I fold it, it will be the right size. And I'm not too worried about the pattern or anything like that on here, because I will still be using the Bythewell4God papers and things to decorate my actual pages. So if I end up covering all of this up, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. So these are the 2 easiest ones to do, just because they it doesn't really matter the design, but the other ones I'm going to try to kind of cut down a little bit around some of the design that's on there. I'm going to try to save just a little bit of it. And I just realized I cut that paper wrong. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Okay. I get myself confused sometimes. So I will save these scraps and use them in collage or in other journals as well. So I did cut these wrong. Did I? My brain is not working. No. So when I get this folded, it will look like that. Sorry. My brain is just, sometimes I have to double check myself. Anyway. So this one, I'm going to try to cut off kind of this section here as much as possible. So I'm going to cut this. I think I can cut this to, if I cut it to 10, I'm going to get just that part of that bird. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out like the best way to cut this. I'm actually going to do this. Put it this way. And then this has a little bit of a, tag on it here from the actual where it was attached to the pattern paper, a branding strip. So I have cut this here, so this is going to be 10. So now I need to do this at 7, which will mean I can cut off most of this down here at the bottom. And again, I'm not really worried about this little bird being on there because I can always just cover that up. And then I was just trying to save this so that I can use this in another journal or in another way. I didn't want it to just go to waste if I could prevent it. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I really love this piece. So I'm going to try to kind of save that. So I want from here down to be my 7 inches, if that makes sense. And you know, if you are worried about this, you could just always use paper, you know, pattern paper that is isn't like non-directional. And then I will cut this to 10 where I'm just going to cut off this edge here. I just did this wrong. Oh man, so this is actually what I kept. I should have done it the opposite way. So, I think I actually have another one of those, but let me just move on. Let me think about what I want to do with that. I may just keep it so that I don't have it wasted. And then this one I'm keeping because I love all of this script in the background, this font. So I want to try to, I'm going to lose this part here. So I think I want to do it 7 inches tall this way. And then I'll still save this because I can use that. And then I'm going to cut off of here, probably off of this edge, so that this is 10 inches wide this way. And again, that's going to leave some of this on here, but I can, you know, I can cover that, or I can just use it because it's still beautiful as well. Let me move these scraps. I would save this one, except if I turn it, everything's just going to be crooked, which I guess would be okay. But then I have this, and I think I could use this in a different way. So let me just pause this, and I'm going to get out another piece of that paper, and then hopefully I won't mess that one up. Okay, so I realized I forgot to put my camera back on, but I didn't have another sheet just like that with the butterflies on it, so I just cut down another one. This has got this kind of yellow, or this red glitter here on the corner, but again, that's one of those things I can just cover up as I'm working through all of that, so that won't be a problem. And then I think this is the last I need that for. And then all I'm going to do is just fold these. This is craft paper, so it is going to be pretty sturdy. It should stand up to a lot. And then I'm just going to fold this into my 5 signatures. So these will be the outer pages. And I'm just leaving the design. It doesn't matter because, like I said, when I get to like where I start working on them, if they're in a different order or whatever, everything I'll be able to just kind of pull everything out and do everything. You could round the corners if you wanted to. I may do that after the fact, but if I'm going to be covering these with other papers, I just find it easier to round it when everything is together. So these are going to be my 5 signatures, and then I'm just going to kind of go through, and I want to make sure that I have one page of these other kinds of papers for each signature as well. So I'm not going to make you watch me fold all of these papers. I already showed you what I'm going to be including, so I'm just going to fold those off camera really quick, and then I'll jump back on and we will bind the signatures into the actual journal cover. Okay, so my 5 signatures are ready, and I just kind of tried to alternate them so that they look, you know, different. And then I also altered I alternated how I put the papers in here. And of course this, you know, I can still add things in if I want to, but I just kind of, you know, like here I have the pattern paper. This one I have this cream colored first, just to add just a little bit of interest for each of those. But for right now, I'm just going to set that off to the side. And I have some embroidery floss. You could use baker's twine, would probably be good. I'm using this because it's going to match, and I've used it before. It will work fine. You could also use bookbinding thread, linen, wax linen, any, you know, whatever you want to. I'm just using this because it matches. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take the end, and I'm going to leave a tail like this on the outside, and I'm going to wrap this around now 5 times so that I have, I need to have 5 pieces, 5 threads on the inside, and I knew I was going to do that. This is the problem when I use embroidery floss. I don't actually know what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I was trying to not unravel the whole thing. So this is my tail that I'm just going to leave here. And then again, I'm going to just wrap this around 5 times. And just try to not, you know, get them overlapping or anything. I'm just going to, okay. Apparently we are going to fight with the embroidery floss. If I'm probably doing this wrong, and it's just knotting up. So don't come at me. Okay, so again, now I'm gonna try to wrap this around 5 times. So what I want to make sure of is that I have 5 lengths on the inside of my book here. So then I'm going to come back around down from the bottom. Okay, and so this is the inside of my cover. You see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my threads in here. And then my end piece is coming up from the bottom. So now I'm just going to cut that off. Oops. And I'm going to bring this up. I want to kind of make sure that these are tight. You also want to make sure that they're not crossed over each other. They don't have to be, you know, you can kind of space them out later, but you definitely don't want them crossed over. And I have, these are crossed. Here we go. Because then your signatures will just do funny, funny things. Okay. So now with this I have one piece coming from the top and one piece coming from the bottom, and I am going to cross them over like this, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to take this one that's on the left, and I'm going to feed it underneath all of these threads so that it's now over on the right side as well. And that is just going to gather everything. And you can do this kind of down here in the middle if you want. I like to put it up at the top or kind of toward the top. So I'm just going to pull these up here, and then I'm going to pull this really tight, and then I'm just going to tie this. So you cross it over before, and then you kind of thread it under, and then I'm going to tie a knot right here. And you can leave these, long. I like to put my little flare pin a lot of times right there. You could tie a bow, you could hang things from there. And then now that that is all done, I can go in here and just stretch out these things. It looks like I went around 6 times somehow, but that's okay. I have an extra thread on the inside. I thought I counted that. I think I got myself confused, but that is okay too. Better to have too many. And also, if this journal gets like too thick as I'm going through, I can always you know, cut that or untie it. You know, sometimes I'll just tie a bow here on the outside and just leave it. And that way, if I need to kind of adjust it, I can, you know, just untie it and kind of rework the threads or whatever. I just went ahead and tied the knot today, but you could definitely just leave a bow to give yourself. So, but if I need to adjust it, I can always just trim that down. But now I'm just going to put the signatures in here, and everything is just going to slide right in there like this, and it will hold these in here, especially as, you know, these get a little bit chunkier. Sometimes it's easier to go this way. And then if I decide that I need more space for something, I can always add something in. I can take something out if I want to exchange. I just kind of wanted the flexibility there. And also kind of wanted to do sort of like a cross between like a junk journal. But like I said, I wanted to use some of these papers that have just been in my stash quite a long time. So I can use those and as kind of a base for everything else that I'll be doing for this month for this journal. And like I said, in the past, I have done this where I have done, I've used like some mixed media paper, and I made one for each day. I made just a little folder for each day, and so that I would have lots of room. But I think this will still give me the space that I need. Just kind of fighting with this last one here. Oh, it's hung up. There we go. Okay. So this is how everything looks when it's finished. And as you can see, all 5 signatures fit in there really well. Everything's going to be good and protected. That one where I just had the extra, I just doubled it up kind of in the middle. And I'll just do a little flip through really quick. You can kind of see. So even as I'm working through this, I can kind of move things around. And then if I wanted to, at the end, I could always come back and do like a 3-hole pamphlet stitch to like really secure everything in place, and then still slide the signature into this little thread, and it would still keep everything. That's certainly an option if you wanted to do that even ahead of time, you know, just to make sure you have things kind of exactly where you want them. You could definitely sew the signature, and then instead of sewing the signature into the spine, you could just use this twine binding as an option. So I'm just going to do a little quick flip through. You've seen all the papers already, but you can kind of see I just tried to alternate how I have them in here. And that is going to be how I work through overflowing this month from Bythewell4God. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I had left a question on the other video. I will link that video down below too, about having these videos kind of in real time, or if it's better to have them with the voiceover. As you can see, I make mistakes and I have to go back and fix things, and so that's just part of it. But sometimes it's helpful to kind of see how people work through those kinds of things. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. That helps other people find my channel. And until next time, bye.